then they notify the president and other top officials about things like this.
If it doesn't involve national security, the notification requirement doesn't trigger. If it involves poor behavior, yeah, it would be nice to know before it's all on TV.
He gets out of his coma. He just barely.
The FBI did contact General Petraeus saying they found classified documents on his mistress's computer. Petraeus said she wouldn't have gotten those from him, but they searched her Charlotte home yesterday just to make sure. Live in Washington, Sue Turner, KEN 5 Eyewitness News.
Well, what better way to get the attention of your government than to ask to leave? That's what tens of thousands of Texans have done online in a petition to the president. Joe Conger joins us live from the Alamo, the symbol of Texas independence. With details, Joe.
Deborah, that's right. The website was created by the Obama administration in order to get Americans engaged with issues that are important to them, and Texans responded.
For generations now, we've been indoctrinated into the idiom of, one nation indivisible. Well, why is it indivisible in the first place?
Ask Chris why he wants to live in the Republic of Texas, and his answer is a simple one. It's all about local control. In an age where big government, he says, is out of control.
That there's a limit to how big something can get and still be responsive to its citizens.
Chris is part of an organization that's no longer being called a fringe group. He's a separatist, and he's not alone. This petition filed on the White House website calls for the peaceful withdrawal of Texas from the Union. Already more than 80,000 have signed it. The Texas nationalist movement isn't surprised.
They're beginning to realize that the political, cultural, and economic gulf between Texas and the rest of the Union is quite vast, and it would be better to pursue independence.
Separatist groups point out there are countries right now exploring independence, whether it's independence from the European Union or the Arab Spring. And at least 17 other state petitions for secession are on the White House website, too.
Obama didn't bake this cake. This cake's been baking for a long time. He's the one who put the icing and the candles on it.
It's more, I guess, counterproductive for us to remain together. It's best that we just go our separate ways.
So the threshold for any kind of response from the Obama White House on that website is 25,000 signatures. Obviously, this group has got that up there on the website. The White House, though, has not said whether or not it will respond. There are some loopholes to the response section. Reporting live here at the Alamo, Joe Conger, KEN 5 Eyewitness News.
All right, Joe. Well, we asked our Facebook friends, do you think the White House should respond to Texas's petition?
Here's what we're hearing. Laura says no. Just because you didn't get your way this election, you don't just cut and run. You work for the changes you think this country needs.
Michael says, though, yes, I think they should respond. I don't necessarily expect the White House to accept the petition. Talk to us on Facebook. We are listening.
An attorney files a lawsuit in New York Supreme Court claiming negligence by two Long Island power companies in the wake of Hurricane Sandy. Although the majority of people along the East Coast have gotten their electricity restored since Sandy, there are tens of thousands of customers of Long Island Power Authority still in the dark. The lawsuit claims the government-run utility should have been prepared for a storm of this magnitude. Management of the power provider defends the storm response and says all power should be fully restored by the end of the day.
This is really a sad situation. Police in New York say growing frustration with power outages may have led to an attack on an electrical worker. 34-year-old lineman John Applewhite was beaten up Friday in New York. He was there as a volunteer. He came up from Florida to help restore power after Sandy hit. Applewhite says he had just finished a 13-hour day. Look at this poor guy when a resident jumped him.
I don't know what his intentions were. I don't know if I was going to be robbed or if he was just upset. He was in a nice vehicle, so I kind of let my guard down a little bit.
Police are checking surveillance video from nearby businesses to track down the attacker. Applewhite says he understands that people are an age, but hey, that's not an excuse to resort to violence.
A former Texas college student guilty of gathering chemicals to try and build a bomb will spend the rest of his life in prison. Khalid Al-Dassari was sentenced in Amarillo this afternoon. Jurors convicted him in June of attempting to use a weapon of mass destruction. The 22-year-old from Saudi Arabia was arrested in February 2011 after federal agents searched his apartment and found bomb-making chemicals.
San Antonio police are looking for answers in an unsolved murder. 46-year-old Lorena Smith was shot to death outside a Northside nightclub in May of 2011. Police say Smith was near her car at Bitters and 281 when someone drove up and shot her. Police are now looking for a red Toyota RAV4 with the scene fleeing the scene. Crime Stoppers will pay up to $5,000 for information leading to the arrest of her shooter. Call Crime Stoppers at 224-STOP.
A sentence of shame. A bad driver forced to remind people to drive safely near school buses.
A creepy crawly find hundreds of snakes stuffed in a pickup truck.
I don't like the sound of that. What inspires him to play the game? A UTSA football player shares his motivation to win.
We're giving away $1,000 in Best Buy gift cards.
All you have to do is watch the win.
KENS 5 Eyewitness News this morning, weekdays from 6 to 7.
A mass shooting at a Sikh temple. For the first time, the hero cops talk about how they stopped the gunman.
I confronted evil in the parking lot.
Tonight on the CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley.
KENS 5 Eyewitness News closed captioning is brought to you by Worldwide Pest Control. Locally owned and operated since 1985. We know what bugs you. Where does the strength of heart come from? From comprehensive cardiac and vascular care in 5 accredited chest pain centers. Being first to offer robotic technology to normalize the rhythm of your heart. But where does the strength of heart really come from? The ones your heart belongs to. We know treating hearts means treating you like family. And that's the difference. That's Baptist Care.
Not bad.
John Wayne is rated #1 in customer satisfaction and is Bryant's Dealer of the Year.
Thank you for making us #1, and to show our appreciation, we have a special deal just for you. Get $4,000 off a new Bryant heating and cooling system, 0% interest financing. Our payments as low as $99 per month. And if you need ductwork and attic insulation, you can save an additional 35%. And for the next 10 callers, we'll throw in a free air purification system. Call John Wayne today at 293-6700 and tell them you want the Dealer of the Year deal.
All I can say is 11 offering 30 or better is impressive.
What about 4 that offer 40 or more?
That's good too.
Hey guys, what's the debate?
I think Chevy's having 11 models that offer an EPA estimated 30 mpg highway or better is a big deal.
Whereas I would say Chevy's 4 models offering an EPA estimated 40 mpg highway or better is even bigger.
Sounds great. So where are they?
Look, he broke my glasses.
Camaro.
Damn you!
Visit your local Chevy dealer today.
A driver caught on camera driving on a sidewalk to avoid stopping for a school bus takes to the streets as part of her punishment, but she appeared to have her mind elsewhere. A judge ordered 32-year-old Sheena Harden to stand at the street corner in Cleveland with this sign reminding people of her crime. But take a look.